sine of 30 degrees? Which equals a half. So it'd be 30 and a half. Yep, 30 and 1/2. Or 30 and 0.5. We draw that one. Then we can do 45. What's sine of 45? Root 2 over 2, which is 0.707. If each of those were 0.5, 0.75 would be halfway. So it's a little bit below halfway. So 45 and a little bit below halfway. Then we do 60, which is sine of 60. What is sine of 60 degrees? Root 3 over 2, which is 0.866. So a little higher than that, but less than 1. And then we do 90. What is sine of 90? Sine of 90 is 1. So we have 90 and then 1. Okay, then we keep going. We have 120 degrees. What is sine of 120 degrees on your unit circle? Pardon? Root 3 over 2 or 0.866. Then we do 135. What is 135? Sine of 135? Root 2 over 2, which is 0.707. And we have 150. What is it? What's sine of 150?
Or just don't know what.
Yeah, so a half or 0.5. And then what's 180 degrees? Is 0. Then 210 degrees? Negative?
1 over 2.
Yeah. Negative 1 over 2 or negative 0.5. Then we have 225. That's 225. Negative
Root 2 over 2.
Root 2 over 2. So 0.707. And 240. Is negative root 3 over 2 or 0.866. 270 is what?
Negative 1.
Negative 1. Then 300. What's sine at 300? Negative root 3 over 2. That's 315. Negative root 2 over 2. $300 is negative 0.5, and 360 degrees is part 330. Sorry, right? 330 is negative 0.5. 360 is 1. Oh, 0, not 1. Sine of 6. Sine of 360. I was doing cosine. So then it goes like this. Now it has the coterminals that could go the other way, correct? Like this graph could go and keep going, because it's just the unit circle over and over and over and over coterminal. So technically, I could go this way as well.
How often do we have to write this whole thing out?
Hmm?
How often will we have to write this out?
Not a lot. I don't know. I just drew that. So do you see that blue one is just the same graph drawn over again, right?
Opposite.
Yeah, it's just because it's just rotating in full circles over and over and over and over and over. Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's what the sine graph looks like. What is its domain?
1. Positive, negative 1.
Its range. What's its domain?
Infinite.
Goes on for life both times, both ways, right? So that's why when we've been doing solving, we have to give you restricted domains, or we have to ask for it in general solution, because it'll go on for life. Correct? So, in set notation, you're going to have x such that x and L are the reals, or an interval, negative infinity to positive infinity. Make sure you're writing this down. Make sure you're not short forming the word domain.
Would you be mad if we accidentally spelled it wrong?
I hope you don't.
I doubt that would ever happen, but I'm just wondering for anybody else in this class.
I hope you don't.
I'm not gonna ever spell it wrong. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
What happens with Alex or like Seth or Carter?
There's options. Okay, range. Ashley, what did you say the range was?
Positive, negative 1.
Yeah. So in interval notation, it would be square bracket negative 1 to 1. Square bracket because it's equal to, right? In set notation, it would be y such that negative 1 is less than or equal to y is less than or equal to 1. Y is an element of the reals.
Y-E-R.
You agree, right? X-intercepts, we can give the ones that we see, but what we actually could do is give general solution x-intercepts because they keep going on for life, correct? So if I look at the x-intercepts of this graph, where does the first one start at? X equals what? 0 degrees. And we know to write it in degrees because the x-axis is in degrees. But if our x-axis is in radians, all the answers have to be in radians. Okay, you don't get a choice. It is what it is, and you have to deal with it. So we have x equals 0. Where does the next one happen at? 180, and the next one's 180 more. And previous to 0 was 180 less, and 180 less than that, right?
It's all about 180.
So it's all by 180. So I can go 0 plus 180 degrees, n. N is an element of the
integers.
Yeah, so I go x equals 180 degrees n. NEI. Now, guys, in a written response, if I had the 0, I wouldn't lose marks. Okay? But in a multiple choice, they won't have the 0. They'll just have 180 and NEI. They won't go 0 degrees plus because there's no reason to put a 0. Okay, what's the y-intercept at? Okay, shh. What's the y-intercept at? Guys, remember I'm recording. 0, 0. So I'm recording. The y-intercept is 0, 0. I'm not recording with a video. I'm recording with audio.
No, it's the podcast.
I heard that, are you doing it because Ben and Jack are too bad to do it in their class?
No.
No.
What's normally doing in their class?
I normally do it in period 1 or period 2. I just did it today, so now I'm doing it in period 3.
Does Nico listen well?
And Alex didn't even know that this was not video recorded. So now the more you know, right? Okay. Y-intercept 0, 0. Where do you think the camera was? Why would I record myself as a camera? All right. I also wouldn't record myself. I would just not do it. All right. So we have to talk about some new definitions. One of them is period. And the period is how long it takes to repeat itself horizontally. So how long did this graph take to repeat itself horizontally?
360 degrees.
360 degrees. If the x-axis was in radians, what would it be?
2 pi.
2 pi.
Say so.
So the period,
One.
the period equals 360 degrees for this particular graph. The reason why we did transformations, that transformations review, was also because we're going to be doing transformations of sine and cos graphs. I know, exciting. And then we have the amplitude.
Oh, no, bigger.
The definition of the amplitude is half the vertical distance amplitude's always positive because it's half of a distance, and distance has to be positive. It's not displacement. So what is the vertical distance? What's from low to high on this graph? What is the vertical distance? 2. Because we're going from -1 to 1. Do you agree? So from -1 to 1 is a vertical distance of?
2.
2. So amplitude is the vertical distance divided in half, correct? This is the vertical distance. So what is my amplitude?
1.
1. Now grab out your formula sheets, because what I do is I get people to write these on the formula sheet. So if it's a formula that you can use, but it's not on your formula sheet, I still tell you to write it on your formula sheet, so when it comes to a unit test or a final, you know what formulas you need to memorize that aren't there.
Wait, we don't get a formula sheet?
You get that formula sheet, but there's formulas that aren't on it. So for example, amplitude's half the vertical distance, so you can just count the vertical distance and divide by 2, or there's actually a formula. The formula for amplitude from a graph is the absolute value of the max minus the min, so whatever answer you get is going to kick out as positive, bless you, because we do the absolute value, right? So it's the absolute value of max minus min, so whatever you fill in there, even if it's negative, will come out positive, divided by 2. Because if you take the absolute value of the max minus the min, it gets you that vertical distance that we just counted. So this is the formula I've written on my formula sheet.
But max is 1, minimum is 1.
Minimum is -1. So what's 1 minus the minus 1? Yeah. So if we fill it into this formula, not amp, that is a unit of measurement that we're not talking about. It's going to be the absolute value of 1 minus a minus 1, absolute value, divided by 2. 1 minus minus 1 is 2. The absolute value of 2 is 2. So it's 2 divided by 2, which is 1.
Number 6.
Yeah. So if you want to use that formula, you can, but you need to memorize it.
Got you.
The last thing we're going to go through is the midline.
Oh, there's more?
One last thing. The midline definition is the horizontal line that cuts the graph in half. All right, writing that down. So the midline is the horizontal line that cuts the graph in half. Our horizontal lines, y equals lines or x equals lines? Horizontal lines.
X.
So if I drew y equals 3, I would go to 3, 1, 2, 3, and I would draw a horizontal line.
Oh, crazy. It's y equals.
And if I went to x equals 3, boom, 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 I would draw a vertical line. So remember, they're actually the opposite. What is the equation of the x-axis?
Y equals x.
Y equals
Squared. 0.
y equals 0. And what's the equation of the y-axis?
X equals 0.
So remember, during transformation, they sometimes put a reflection. They could say a reflection in the y-axis. We agree, that's what you guys liked. Or they could say, everyone's paying attention to me? Reflection in the y-axis, or they could say a reflection in the line.
Vertical.
No, what is this line? Oh my gosh.
The midline.
equals 0.
X equals 0 is right. I'm just going to take a nap.
In the
Period. Flow.
In the period. Nope.
Amplitude.
I love that this is
Also
still
not
being
true.
recorded.
So, yeah. So, the reflection in the x-axis is what line? Reflection in the x-axis is the line
Y equals 0.
y equals 0, and reflection in the y-axis is a reflection in the
X equals
line
0.
x equals 0. Winning.
Wouldn't that also be the midline though?
No, this is just like of transformations in general. Not the same. Okay. So what is the middle? What is the midline of this graph?
0.
What is equal to 0?
x equals 0.
Or y equals 0. Sorry.
Horizontal lines are what equals lines?
Y.
Y equals lines. And this one that would cut it in half is this one here, right? Which is the line what? Y equals
Oh.
0. Now why would it be y equals 0? What is 0 on that line?
Why?
The y's.
Come on, guys.
Real.
Wow, there's always someone.
Always someone. Yeah, it's not that guy. Always someone.
Not me, guys.
Not him. Nope. All right.
Hands on your knees.
All hail Chad Park. Y equals, that was 1629. I forgot I was recording. You're welcome. I just started to set you up. Y equals 0.
Horizontal line.
Stop using
That is a horizontal line. Y equals 0. Now, guys, there's also a formula for midline.
What the?
So the midline is technically the line halfway between the max and the min, correct? So it is basically the average between the max and the min.
Max divided by min.
So how would you find the average? Max plus min divided by 2. If you want the average of two values, you add them up and divide them by themselves, by 2, not by themselves. That's stupid. So it's going to be not equal to. Midline is y equals max plus min
Divided by 2.
divided by 2.
They also divided by 7.
So in this case, we would have y equals 1 plus negative 1 divided by 2, which is 0 divided by 2, so it's y equals 0. Boom.
What's that little scribble behind it?
That's a smiley face.
That's a smiley face?
Yeah, can't you tell? Really tiny. Tiny smiley face.
It just got hit by a car.
Oh, it crashed. Oh, we're back.
Ooh, that was my paw. It's a dot. It was, I was going to write something and then I covered it up with a dot. I love that you guys are, what is that? You guys should mark your own work, because man, I have that question a lot. Like, what is this? Why does this not look like sign? Yeah.
It's just
yeah.
our brains thinking.
You guys did offer. This is true.
That's like he was
I can mark my own test.
Yeah, if I marked my test,
It would come
fine.
out real well. Okay, flip over the page. What do you think I'm going to make you graph on the back?
Close.
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 Close as possible.
That's a vendetta.
Oh, hello, everybody. Yeah. Hello. Hello. I should turn British. Okay, 0. Point. Oh gosh, 0 and 1. Oh no.
What is that?
I don't know.
Did you?
Okay, then we go oop. Then we go oop. Then we go oop. What's happening?
What? Then we go. I'm a little confused.
Oh no.
You just missed the eagle.
You got this, Miss Webb. Thanks for the positive reinforcement. My brain stopped. Okay, this and then here. Yep, and then there.
That's all you asked for.
Guys. Then here. Then here. 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 Okay. There's your close graph. And it would just keep going, correct? And we would sketch the whole thing. Due to time constraints, I'm not going to. Okay, what is the domain? X such that X and M are the reals. And in interval notation? Negative infinity, infinity. Range?
Y/7. -1.
is less than or equal to y is less than or equal to 1. Y is now with reals. Interval notation?
Square bracket, -1, -1, square bracket.
Yep.
So,
What's my... Yep,
what happens if you put the -1 and 1 in,
you're wrong, because it means that
So
that is less.
language is
Low to high.
so the alligators always have to be
That's
21.
Swedish.
Yeah,
Swedish.
low to high.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Are you still recording?
yep,
Oh, the thing went away though.
yep,
So is this gonna be in it?
that's how it works.
Nice.
Oh, I don't know what
X-intercepts.
Watch the podcast.
And that made the podcast.
All right. What's the first x-intercept? X equals what?
90.
90 degrees plus
180. Yes.
180 degrees. And I love how everyone's putting around 90, 180, and it's like you're all contributing now. So cute. All right, what's the y-intercept?
1.
0, 1.
I don't even know what to say.
What is the period? 360. It doesn't change. It still follows the unit circle, right? 360, make sure you have a degree symbol. What is the amplitude?
0.
It is 1.
How was the amplitude 0?
Oh, that's
the
a mid.
midline.
That's
zero.
a midline. My
Midline,
fault.
midline is something 0. Y equals 0. This is a horizontal line.
My brain is not fast.
Who's it at? It's 5 feet.
Oh, darn it.